So, this week, Lothran, I will be talking about the revamps that I made to the Invention system in Foundry. It changes the whole game and the world very dramatically, so it's important to get it out there as soon as possible. What do you think of it already, Lothran, with our test games? I mean, how do you think they went?
It's very ingenious. I haven't experienced it in any other game. There's the edge of gambling, which is pretty much required, but also a sense of progression even over previous failures. It's very clever of you, young Korvoth.
Thank you, Lothran. It took ages to come up with. Okay. So just a sec. I'm gonna describe it. Here's how it works. If you need to invent something, you break it down into a few classes. First, you question how big it will be. Larger than bot-sized or smaller. That's large, medium, and small. Then you mark that spot on the roll tables. They're not complex, so don't worry about them. Lothran approves, remember. Simple is good, that's the way I kept it. Okay, for each size, you'll need a different number of the various resources to start.
Don't forget.
I'm getting to it. Don't interrupt.
Alright.
Okay, where was I? Next you figure out what the invention will be. Transport, device, or weapon. Each of these require a certain amount of tools and specific resources for each attempt. There's also special tools, but that's a different thing. We'll get to that later. A different episode for that. Finally, you can choose, but do not have to have a specialization for the invention in question, and I warn you ahead of time, specialization greatly increases the cost of the invention. It makes it much more effective and efficient, but it is not for the improvised inventor or the impoverished inventor to take up, really. It's not really your thing yet. You gotta wait for that. Okay, so now to the process. Even with all the materials and tools required for the job. Oh yeah, the size also dictates the turns the job will take. Almost forgot. Even with all the materials and whatnot, the invention is not guaranteed to be a success, just like real life. I'm getting to it. Don't integrate. The way this process mimics real life is the design and the idea, and you have to test theories in the build phase and redesign for practicality and use. What occurs on a failed first turn roll is very unlikely to succeed. You roll a 6-sided die 6 times as an example of a small invention, choosing either high or low for your rolls, and land on either the 6 or the 1 all 6 times depending on which you picked high or low. Possible, but extremely unlikely. Lothran got one off, but it wasn't his first attempt.
I was as dumbfounded as you were, if a whole lot more elated than you. It was pretty weird.
That was super crazy, Lothran. Like, super real crazy.
I'm just lucky. That's how it's always been, you know, these things happen to certain people. That's just the way it is with me.
Okay, moving on. When you fail, you learn stuff. It's how it is for me, and Lothran, and everybody. So in Foundry, when you fail, you reduce the cost of resources for your next attempt by 1 of each requirement. Small has a floor of 1 each, medium, unless otherwise stated, has a floor of 3 each, and large, again, unless stated, has a floor of 7 resources each. Okay, makes sense to everybody? There's a little bit more. Okay, oh no wait, also, I almost forgot this. Each time you fail, you can also, there's certain methods in the game, like ways to dedicate resources in between attempts so that each attempt you roll less die successfully to get the number, the result that you're looking for. And I don't have this part written down. I'll go over it in a different video, but Ugh, I forgot this. My bad.
You're forgetting my favorite part, and what I think will prove to be the best part of this little game of ours. You know, the thing about the world keeping what you've made of it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks, Lothran. Save me right there. Okay, alright. So, this game is meant to be open source like drones. Only different people will likely play in different ways and make very contrasting things. So what we did was add a feature that drones doesn't have. When you invent something in Foundry, even if you die, instead of wiping it from the game, it becomes a feature of your specific game. Something that is used, traded, and sold by the bots of your Foundry. Lothran and I play with the Foundry 117. That's the right one? Okay, he's shaking his head, yep. No, wait, nodding. He's nodding. I said that wrong. My bad. You can pick your own number, too, for tournaments, but everybody has to register their Foundries, but seniority to those registering first. So we have Foundry 117. That's ours. And everyone has to start from scratch at a tournament, so it'll get all competitive and heated.
It's a really good feature. It'll add so much uniqueness to the game, allow people to play from their own sort of game styles. Now, what did you decide about the batteries?
Oh, I'm gonna make them finite. 40 batteries across all games.
40 sounds a little low. Are you sure you want the number, so low to start?
Well, I'm making that a free-form sort of quest thing. I don't at all want to force a quest, because, or any of that. You need to do this to get this reward, that kind of nonsense. I know how you hate that, Lothran. But what I'm doing is making it a necessity to invent something to recharge batteries, so people will work towards it.
Okay, I see what you're getting at. Makes sense. What about the resources required? You'd have to artificially limit that device somehow.
What do you mean?
Well, if the first major roadblock to survival is a battery recharger, you'd have to put chains and hurdles around it, otherwise everyone will just do that thing first. Then they sit in easy, boring land and don't challenge themselves at all. And we don't want that, now do we?
Oh, okay. So, what if you can only recharge a battery once, and then after that you need 2 batteries per turn, because the recharged batteries don't work as well. And then after they're 2 you gotta throw them out, because they're gonna blow up on you. And then later we'll come up with another thing, like you either to save them or recycle them, and you don't get as much out of them, that sort of stuff, to make it hard to stay in the world. Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's delightfully wicked of you. But, I'm sure it's something we could work on. At least this would push innovation, keep resources scarce, and force players to invent multiple ways to better their situation and move on to the next step to acquiring and protecting their battery supply, which is, in essence, their life force.
Oh, wait, no, okay, so we would need to at least present the steps to producing your own batteries.
In the long term, yes. Since inventions are static and some people play games religiously, we would need to figure that stuff out at some point. But right now we need to solidify the first major hurdle, making it difficult, but possible, for 1 to 3 players over a few games. 1 player being easy mode with the most access to batteries, and 3 players being super terrible hard, this is going to be way more difficult than you think sort of mode.
Okay. This is enough. We gotta play a game and figure some stuff out right now. Good night and good luck.
There's a few more things I still want to say, young Korvoth.
We're done here, Lothran. We're done. Good night and good luck. Stay safe out there. I'm turning it off. I'm turning it off right now. It's off. It's all off. Done. Goodbye. Goodbye, Lothran. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. It's off. It's off. I'm turning it off right now.